The next topic I want to discuss is a question victims get asked all the time. Why didn't you say something sooner? Why didn't you speak to someone earlier? Now, it's a great question. Many, many years ago, I would have thought it was a horrible question. Do not ask me that. But if you don't ask these questions, we can't explain to you the process. Now, if I explain to you the process, you don't need to ask a victim this question. And it is a quite harsh question because it makes us believe we did something wrong, we don't know what to do, we're stupid, and all those elements. Now, the reason why we don't say anything, first of all, could be as simple as we are groomed not to say anything. You're threatened by an older, much larger, stronger predator. You're taught and groomed to not believe it's wrong or to believe that you're going to be in trouble and it's your fault. So as a very young child, you're manipulated. Now we see grown adults become manipulated. How do you believe a small child has the power to stand up to such a large predator? Now, some children don't know it's wrong because they're not educated. I was fortunate enough to have the education and I knew it was wrong. But again, I was groomed to not say anything, to not destroy a family that looked so perfect, to not destroy my reputation as the golden grandchild and the favorite niece and all of those wonderful things. The next reality is that you might not even have remembered it. So victims learn to block it out. Now, I remember I blocked out all of the scenarios. Now, I vividly remember when I go back into those situations, knowing it happening, knowing it being wrong, as soon as it being over, moving into the real world again, it was like I lived two separate realities. And then everything was back to normal and you wouldn't actually remember the scenario happening because you learned to block it out. Another reason is fear. Fear of judgment, fear of being told you're a liar. Fear of the predator being able to manipulate their way out of it and really not being believed. Now, I know I had great parents for support, but it wasn't a matter of knowing that. It was a matter of being able to communicate it. And as a 7, 8-year-old child, I don't believe I had the ability to communicate that properly. Now, people go, well, when you did come out, you were a lot older. I was 17 years old, still quite young. I haven't learned much in life at this point. But I came out because I believe I had the power, the ability, the strength, and the communication ability to actually say something. Now, some people never come out, and some people come out a lot later on in life. Again, because they might not have the tools, the resources, or the environment around them to be strong enough and be supported enough to say something. Especially when it comes to it happening to yourself. This is all about you being judged. Something happened to you, and you're going to have to speak to other people about what happened to you. And it happened in an explicit manner. It happened so dark, so revealing to your entire being that someone now has to hear it. How do you go and tell someone that? It wasn't a matter of I'm telling someone to stop the predator, the offender. It feels like you're telling someone to reveal your innermost, most darkest secrets. Now, I ask you, the viewer, if this has not happened to you before, go find someone and try and tell them your darkest secret. Think about that for a moment. It's not easy. Now, for a victim, this is that moment. Plus, we've been groomed and taught that it's not something to speak about. The whole intent behind these videos is to make sure it is such a common discussion. It is no longer taboo, that we have the ability to have someone, a victim, feel comfortable enough to discuss something wrong has happened as soon as it happens. Because it's common knowledge. It's not frowned upon. It's not questioned when discussed. It's accepted, understood, and then dealt with in the steps that I've discussed previously. So please, when you are going to ask the question to a victim, why didn't you say something sooner? Have very clear intention why you're asking the question. Because it feels like a judgment on our character, on our ability. If you're trying to really just learn about the situation, about the child, about the environment, about the actual abuse, make sure you're asking the right people. But if you are judging and if you are trying to lay blame on why this happened for so many years longer than it should have, and you're putting this on the victim, please do not have that discussion.